This is a quick video on how to use a CX project to get and capture information from employees using question types that are not available in EX Lifecycle project, for example. So in this scenario, we will capture a video or audio response in the CX project here, provided by specific employees that we have in a distribution list in XM directory. So that means we have the employees that we have an employee directory also available in the XM directory. So here you can see there's a question regarding the food in the cantina, and this is not an anonymous question we want to distribute, so we would create a list, for example, and then here we have here we have the private link for Amanda Cook. So when we answer the survey here, we could record audio, for example. Thanks, the food in the cantina is really great. I love pizzas on Wednesday. So we just recorded that. Could also have recorded a video. Now when I click on next, this response by Amanda has been captured in the survey, in the CX project. And what is actually going on now in the backend is, so as we do not have the video response question type in EX available, doesn't matter which project type. In this example, we are using a lifecycle project. We are using here CX as a front end for this EX project. And most importantly is that when we go into the directories and we look for Amanda here, first of all, we have her as an employee in the employee directory, of course, with certain embedded data or metadata fields. Amanda Cook was the name. So we look for her. Here she is in the employee directory. And the most important thing now is that when you look at this information, there's a field called unique identifier in EX. This is the only mandatory field, so we know that this answer has been provided by Amanda, right? So let's have a look. Unique identifier here, this one. So that means to make this really work in EX, the CX project needs to know the unique identifier of Amanda and then use that to assign Amanda to the right EX survey project to capture the feedback about the food in the cantina. So aside from having her in the EX directory, that means we also need to have the employees in the XM directory for CX surveys. So I have prepared a list here, and when we look for Amanda, you will find her also in CX with, let's say, similar or the same fields, and the field unique identifier, which is mainly for EX. So we have the employees here, and when we go into the CX project, when the answer has been captured, workflow gets triggered, and the workflow in here is really to synchronize certain things. The user response has been provided. In this case, it was just capturing audio and video feedback, and then the first API call is really, actually it's the SuccessFactors endpoint in the API of Qualtrics, and we are reusing it here internally. So the CX project is really calling the SuccessFactors endpoint here, and it's actually assigning Amanda to this project. And then she is in the participant list for that lifecycle project. So CX is actually doing that assignment once she has provided the answer, going through the CX survey. So this is actually a pretty simple API call. The CX project takes Amanda by her unique identifier and then moves her into the right EX lifecycle project to capture the feedback of the cantina. This is the first thing that's happening. And then the next step, we are actually in the CX project, we have this transcript from the audio or video, from the video response question type. And so this is made available in here. So you can see the video transcript as an example. And then we hand over this information that we have from that we have captured in the CX project, and then in the last API call, we're actually handing over the transcript into a text area or comment field in the EX Lifecycle project, and we need the unique identifier because this is mandatory, like I said, and it's used that this will not end up as an anonymous answer in the EX Lifecycle project. This will be actually the Cantina feedback provided by Amanda Cook as a real employee. And then, why are we doing that? Because we do not want to have anonymous responses. We then can use this information also for employee journal analytics, for StatsIQ, for further analytics or correlation, and we can ensure that all employee feedback is actually provided by real employees. That has nothing to do with pseudonymization, anonymization or so. It's just really that we ensure Amanda, we have given Amanda a private link in the CX survey, so we also want to ensure that this is her private response also in the EX Lifecycle project, and this is handled by these 3 API calls. There's also a delay in here. This is actually wanted because it takes some time, for example, to do a transcript from audio or video. And that means when we go into the CX project, into the raw data here, you will see it's not yet provided for the feedback of Amanda, but we will see that here, this information has not been transcribed. Once it's available, it would be like the food tastes quite good in the cantina, I like dancing. So Matthew has provided that answer. And so that means the API call is delayed for a couple of hours, but it will then, once this is available, it will then transfer this information into the EX Lifecycle project and makes this transcript available. So actually, when we go into the EX project, which receives the information from the CX project, we will see in the raw data that this answer by Matthew has already been captured and transferred in here, right? The other API calls have not been executed because there's not yet a transcript available. And in here, in the EX project, we have this as a free text field. That means we can use it for comment summarization with AI. We can use it for topic recognition with TextIQ and sentiment analysis, all that you would or are able to do in EX Lifecycle project. So we can transfer the text information that we can get out in the CX project, analyzing the video or audio response as an example. It could also be a question type like a slider that might not be available in EX as a question type. And then we have to hand it over in a reusable, let's say, kind of way. In this case, a comment field, but it could also be like a Likert scale. And then we can use this information in that EX project. And most important thing is that this is actually assigned to a real employee using the standard field participants unique identifier. And this is actually done via the API calls. So we know that Amanda, or in this case Matthew, have provided this answer in the CX project. We have captured the information and the transcript. We have handed over the transcript. The transcript has been analyzed in the EX project, and these are the two most important things. For also then, if you want to do analysis or joining data in employee journal analytics. So we can ensure that we can use a CX project, like I said in the beginning of this video, as a front end for EX to use question types that we could not use natively in an EX Lifecycle project like this one. Thanks you.